Have you ever felt completely out of control? Like a storm was raging inside you and you couldn't stop it? Imagine that feeling, but 1,000 times worse. That was the daily reality for a man living among the tombs in the region of the Gerasenes. This wasn't just a man having a bad day. This was a man held captive by a force so powerful, so terrifying, it was beyond human comprehension. The Bible tells us this man was a terrifying sight. He lived in the graveyards, a place for the dead, because he was no longer welcome among the living. He would howl day and night, his cries echoing through the desolate hills. The local people were terrified of him. They tried to restrain him, to chain him up, but it was no use. With a strength that wasn't his own, he would shatter the iron shackles and break the chains as if they were threads. No one was strong enough to subdue him. He was completely isolated, tormented, and utterly alone, hurting himself with stones in his moments of agony. He was a prisoner in his own body, a soul lost in a sea of darkness. Then, one day, everything changed. A boat landed on the shore. From it stepped a group of men, led by a teacher from Galilee named Jesus. The moment the possessed man saw Jesus from a distance, something incredible happened. He ran, but this time, it wasn't to scare someone away. He ran and fell on his knees in front of Jesus. A voice, deep and guttural, not his own, screamed out, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name, don't torture me." Think about that for a second. The demonic force that could break iron chains, that terrified an entire town, was now trembling before this one man. It recognized Jesus immediately and was terrified of his power. It knew its time was up. Jesus spoke with authority, not to the man, but to the darkness inside him. "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." Jesus then asked a question that reveals the true scale of this man's suffering. "What is your name?" The voice replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." In the Roman army, a legion was a unit of up to 6,000 soldiers. This man wasn't just possessed by one or two demons. He was a walking battlefield, a host to an army of darkness. Can you even begin to imagine the torment of having thousands of destructive voices screaming inside your head, controlling your every move? His entire being was colonized by evil. This is where the story takes a turn you won't see coming. The demons, knowing they had to leave, began to bargain. They begged Jesus not to send them out of the area. They saw a large herd of pigs, about 2,000 of them, feeding on a nearby hillside. "Send us among the pigs," they pleaded. "Allow us to go into them." And Jesus gave them permission. What happened next was a stunning display of both destructive power and liberating grace. The spirits came out of the man and went straight into the pigs. The entire herd, now possessed, rushed down the steep bank, straight into the lake, and were drowned. The pig herders, stunned and terrified, ran off to the town and countryside, telling everyone what they had just witnessed. This wasn't just a random act. It was a visual demonstration of what had been happening inside that man's soul. The chaos, the self-destructs, the rush toward oblivion, it was all made visible. The demon's true nature is to destroy, and once they left the man, they immediately destroyed the pigs. The price of this man's freedom was the loss of 2,000 pigs, a huge economic loss. But it showed everyone what his life was truly worth. His soul was more valuable than all of that livestock. When the townspeople came out to see for themselves, the scene must have been breathtaking. The man who they had only known as a wild, screaming, uncontrollable force of nature was now sitting there, at the feet of Jesus. He was fully clothed, calm, and most importantly, in his right mind. The storm was over. The legion was gone. The man was finally free. You'd think everyone would be celebrating, right? But they weren't. They were afraid. They saw the power of Jesus, a power that could command demons and destroy a herd of pigs in an instant. And it scared them. They saw the dramatic change in the man, but they were more focused on the loss of their pigs and the unsettling power they had just witnessed. So, they asked Jesus to leave their region. As Jesus was getting back into the boat, the man he had healed begged to go with him. He wanted to stay with his rescuer, the only one who had ever shown him compassion and power. But Jesus had a different plan for him. "Go home to your own people," Jesus said, "and tell them how much the Lord has done for you, and how he has had mercy on you." This is perhaps the most beautiful part of the story. The man who was once an outcast, a terrifying figure living among tombs, was now sent back to his community as the very first missionary in that region. He became a living, breathing testament to the power and mercy of God. And that's exactly what he did. He went away and began to tell everyone in the Decapolis, a region of 10 cities, about the incredible thing Jesus had done for him. And all the people were amazed. This story is about more than just a dramatic exorcism. It's a powerful reminder that no one is beyond hope. No matter how deep in darkness someone is, no matter how broken or lost they feel, there is a power greater than that darkness. It shows us that Jesus sees the person behind the pain, the soul behind the suffering. He didn't see a monster. He saw a man who needed to be set free. It also challenges us. When we see people who are broken, who are acting out, who are lost, how do we react? Do we react like the townspeople, with fear and judgment, trying to chain them up or push them away? Or do we react like Jesus, with compassion, authority, and a deep desire to see them restored? The man's story didn't end in the graveyard. It ended with him becoming a beacon of hope for thousands. He went from being a source of terror to a source of wonder. His chains were broken. His mind was restored, and his future was rewritten. It is a story that tells us that no matter how many legions we face in our own lives, be it addiction, depression, fear, or despair, there is hope for freedom and a new beginning. The same power that quieted the storm in this man's soul is still at work today. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the depths of faith and the human spirit. See you next time.